We will have a minute of silent prayer, after which you are asked to be seated. Thank you. Honorable Chief Justice of Guyana, Roxanne George Wiltshire, Dr. Marcel Hudson, Chief Education Officer, Ministry of Education, Mr. Nigel Hughes, Attorney at Law, Mrs. Fazia Baksh, Deputy Chief Education Officer, Minister of Education, Mr. Deonarayan Hardat, Coordinator, School Board Secretariat, Mr. Emmanuel Bridgewater, Principal Education Officer, Mr. Selwyn Griffith, District Education Officer, other officers of the Ministry of Education, Mr. Kosi John, Chairman of the Bishop's High School Board of Governors, distinguished members of the Bishop's High School Board of Governors, Mrs. Sandra Davidson Lowe, President of the PTA of the Bishop's High School, members of the PTA Executive Body, executive members of the Bishop's High School Old Students Association, Tri-State Chapter, the Canadian Chapter, and the Guyana Chapter, Mr. Collis Nicholson, Regional Vice President of the Guyana Teachers Union, former principals of the Bishop's High School, members of the faculty of the Bishop's High School, special invitees, parents, graduands, and prize recipients. A pleasant afternoon to you all. It is my pleasure this afternoon to welcome you to the graduation and prize-giving ceremony of the Bishop's High School for the academic year 2020-2021. It is indeed quite unique what we are observing this afternoon. We have never had a merge of these two events, and this is because, as you know, in early of 2020, because of the pandemic, schools were hastily closed, and then our lives were basically put on a standstill. So today we are celebrating not only the graduands, but also students who would have performed exceptionally well during the academic year. Our theme for this afternoon's proceedings is one that is quite fitting. Today is a day to celebrate and reflect on our journey, more specifically on the journey of our graduands, keeping in mind the theme of this year's celebration, creating my success story through empowerment, determination, and focus. To take you through today's proceedings, I ask you to join me in welcoming our hosts for today's ceremony, Mr. Brian Smith and Miss Defta Ramroop, teachers of the Bishop's High School.
Good afternoon, everyone. Protocol being observed, I greet you and welcome to the Bishop's High School. We are here to celebrate. At the Bishop's High School, we celebrate excellence, and today is no exception. The COVID-19 pandemic had caused us to be without this event. This is a very important event and a very special event. So it's nice to see my students there in green and red. Congratulations. We move on immediately with the program. First, I must apologize to our special invited guests and our parents and our students and graduates for a little late start. I would like to invite our principal acting, Mrs. Claudette Providence Reed, to present to us the report for the academic year 2020-2021. Mrs. Reed.
Honorable Chief Justice of Guyana, Roxanne George Wilshire, Dr. Marcel Hudson, Chief Education Officer, Ministry of Education, Mr. Nigel Hughes, Attorney at Law, Mrs. Fazia Bashk, Deputy Chief Education Officer, Ministry of Education, Mr. Dionarine Hardat, Coordinator, School Board Secretariat, Mr. Emmanuel Bridgewater, Principal Education Officer, Mr. Selwyn Griffith, District Education Officer, other officers of the Ministry of Education, Mr. Kosi John, Chairman of the Board of the Bishops High School, distinguished members of the Board of Governors of the Bishops High School, Mrs. Sandra Davison Lowe, President of the Parent Teachers Association, Bishops High School, members of the PTA Executive Body, executive members of BOSA, Tri-State Chapter, Canadian Chapter, Guyana Chapter, Mr. Collis Nicholson, Regional Vice President of GTU, former principals of the Bishops High School, members of the faculty of the Bishops High School, special invitees, graduates and prize recipients, good afternoon. It is indeed a privilege and honor to share this platform with so many esteemed speakers to deliver the school's report to this wonderful audience. To be with young people who are passionate about making their mark on the world. It also allows me to share the joy, energy, and spirit that are commonly associated with youth. I am energized and encouraged at the limitless potential of these young people that are prepared to be thrust out of their nests to take on the world. Their educational foundation, social skills, ethics, and character development make me confident that they can be quality citizens of the world. Despite the many challenges we face, I am grateful for the opportunity to be here to celebrate the success and remarkable achievements of this institution. Before us today are promising young men and women who have reached a milestone in their lives and are earnestly looking forward to new challenges. We also have parents who have supported their children with unfailing and selfless love, and educators who have worked passionately and tirelessly in leading and nurturing our students and ensuring their total development. Being one of the leading high schools in Guyana, we are cognizant of the pivotal role we play in ensuring that the curriculum is relevant, balanced, rigorous in preparing our students to be employable citizens of this global community as they take their places in life. We are committed to renewing ourselves to ensure our students are lifelong learners who are equipped with the requisite skills of decision-making, problem-solving, critical thinking, and creativity for this rapidly changing world. Our efforts to equip the students to meet the changing needs of society is unrelenting. We explore the professional potential of the teachers and cultivate a culture of excellence in our school. In terms of curriculum design, flexibility and freedom is given to the teachers to try new initiatives and to develop the multiple intelligences of our students. Staffing. At the Bishop's High, we started the academic year with a staff complement of 38, 7 ancillary workers, and 2 office staff. The complement includes 1 principal, 1 vice principal, 1 guidance counselor, a teacher librarian, 1 accountant, and 1 office assistant. We welcome on board Ms. Melissa Canterbury, who specializes in the teaching of home economics and whose minor is English, and Mr. Paul Cameron, who serves in the music department. We urge our new recruits to work cohesively to maintain the standard and quality of education this institution is known for since its existence. I wish to pause to honor some outstanding teachers we've lost, either because they have retired or resigned. Mr. Christopher McCoy, who served in the business department. We are still affected by this loss. Mr. Lekram Singh, who served in the science department and also functioned in all other areas, who served in the science department, and also, I repeat, functioned in all other areas. Wherever there was work, Mr. Singh was present. Losing Mr. Singh has left a void on our staff. Ms. Roxanne Kurt, who served with honor and distinction as librarian for over 30 years at the Bishop's High School, and Mrs. Shelly Ann Harris, who served as head of department science as well as deputy head teacher acting when Mrs. Ellis retired as principal of the Bishop's High School, and Miss Marlene Gibson was appointed as principal. Mrs. Harris was always selfless in the service she provided at the Bishop's High School. She also led the charge in regularizing the medium for teaching at the Bishop's High School. During the height of the pandemic period, she never took on simple tasks, and though our tasks were always filled with challenges, she always mastered them with ease. It is never an easy acceptance of losing such invaluable resource person. The Ministry of Education is doing their best to ensure that teachers are quickly replaced to fulfill the duties to our nation's children, tomorrow's leaders. Ancillary staff. Our ancillary staff ensures that the ambience of the Bishop's High is being maintained. We implore this team to continue to work cohesively to maintain the environs in which we execute our daily tasks. We started the school year with a student population of 696, of which 294 are boys and 402 are girls. We must admit the pandemic took a toll on us, and some of our parents weren't patient enough to allow us to regain momentum. As a result, we saw a number of transfers occurring throughout the year. We are very hopeful this replacing of students will stop and parents will allow the children to settle and develop their own coping mechanisms to deal with these changes. Since the pandemic is affecting all of us, we are also hopeful that teachers will receive the kind of support that will encourage good growth and development. Examination results. We are more than happy to share our academic achievements for the year 2020-2021, though the data collected shows a decline in performance, which can be attributed to many factors. Our teaching staff will work assiduously to improve and maintain a high level of performance at CSEC and CAPE examinations. 31 subjects were offered for CSEC for the year 2020-2021, and 30 subjects for CAPE for the same period. And so the breakdown is as follows. Additional mathematics, 50.98%. Agricultural science, double award, 100%. Biology, 100%. Caribbean history, 100%. Chemistry, 87.76%. Economics, 90%. Electronic document and preparation and management, which is EDPM, 98.21%. English A, 100%. English B, 95.12%. Family and resource management, 100%. Food, nutrition, and health, 100%. French, 73.68%. Geography, 100%. Industrial technology, electrical, 100%. Information technology, which is IT, 100%. Mathematics, 97.47%. Music, 80%. Office administration, 100%. Physics, 93.88%. Portuguese, 83.33%. Principles of business, commonly known as POB, 100%. Principles of accounts, commonly known as POA, 100%. Religious education, 100%. Religious education, sorry, I repeat myself, 100%. Social studies, 100%. Spanish, 66.67%. Technical drawing, 100%. Textiles, clothing, and fashion, 100%. Theater arts, 100%. Visual arts, 80%. And that gives us an overall percentage of 93.25%. Okay. Accounting Unit 1, 100%. Biology Unit 1, 94.73%. Caribbean Studies, 100%. Chemistry Unit 1, 88%. Communication Studies, 98.70%. Economics Unit 1, 84.21%. Environmental Science, 100%. Geography Unit 1, 100%. History Unit 1, 92%. Integrated Math, 81.57%. Law Unit 1, 97.82%. Literatures in English, 97.91%. Management of Business, 100%. Pure Mathematics Unit 1, 60%. Physics Unit 1, 100%. Sociology Unit 1, 90%. Spanish Unit 1, 100%. Accounting Unit 2, 100%. Biology Unit 2, 93.75%. Chemistry Unit 2, 97.70%. 83.11%. Economics, Unit 2, 83.33%. Environmental Science, 100%. Geography, Unit 2, and that was Environmental Science, Unit 2. Geography, Unit 2, 100%. History, Unit 2, 100%. Law, Unit 2, 100%. Literatures in English, Unit 2, 96.29%. Management of Business, Unit 2, 100%. Pure Mathematics, Unit 2, 69.23%. Physics, Unit 2, 100%. Sociology, Unit 2, 100%. And Entrepreneurship, Unit 2, 100%. That gives us an overall total of 93.35%. Projects. Yes, you can clap. Thank you. Projects. As part of our continued efforts to enhance our aesthetics as well as to complement our academic drive, several projects were funded by the school's board, alumni association, and other stakeholders over the period of 2020-2021, which includes replacement of light fixtures throughout the school building, raising the flooring of the literature room and physics lab on the ground floor of the main building, washing of fence, installation of access points at central areas around the school building, installation of security cameras around the school building in high-risk areas, installation of internal phone lines in central areas of the school, distribution of tablets to students who experience device accessibility challenges, purchase of printer copier for the main office. Programs. The Bishop's High offers 4 major areas of specialization: home economics, agricultural science, double award, industrial technology, business education. The school also provides a plethora of extracurricular activities: dance, choral group, STEM club, reading, chess, cricket, steel orchestra, drama, sport, just to name a few. All geared towards training and developing leadership, social and interpersonal skills of our students and ensuring they are rounded citizens. The school also participated in cricket in the month of March and placed second. Congratulations to the team and the physical education teacher, Mr. Daniel Benjamin. I wish to recognize the following teachers who will be retiring in this current academic year. Ms. Camille Britton, teacher in the business department, who has served over 30 years in this profession. She served with excellence. Ms. Marilyn Gibson, our principal, who served in the agricultural science department. Ms. Gibson also served with excellence for over 30 years. We thank these 2 stalwarts for their contribution in education and wish them well as they transition to the next phase of their lives. It would be proper to say my sentiments expressing my gratitude will be incomplete if I stop here without recognizing the engines of excellent performance in this premier institution. Teachers, you are always willing to go the extra mile. Your diligence and commitment is well recognized. To all of you, I would like you to know you are priceless. A special thank you to the planning committee for planning this event so beautifully. It was tedious work, frustrating at times, but you planned and executed well. The committee was supported by the Board of Governors of the Bishop's High School, the Parent Teachers Association of the Bishop's High School, and other parents are always looking for more ways to give back to the school. The committee comprised Mrs. Philana Roberts Peters, Mrs. Ambalaika Bell, Miss Swarswati Mangra, Mr. Andre Romaldo, Mr. Brian Smith, Mrs. Claudette Providence Reed, and this was the core group, and then the support group, Mrs. Huette Bryan, Miss Camille Britton, Mrs. Natasha Rampasad, Mrs. Elizabeth Williams-Niles, Mrs. Vanessa Wilberg, Mrs. Norma Hughes, and of course, the remaining staff members, they also supported. But the group of persons I just read, those were the persons involved in planning and executing this wonderful event this afternoon. Thanks to Ms. Claire Mason also and team for such a wonderful display of prizes. And if you look across, you will see the prizes are beautifully displayed. Thank you, Ms. Mason. To our invaluable donors, thank you. Honorable Chief Justice Roxanne George Wilshire, Dr. Navindranath Rambaran, Dr. Janice Jackson, Management of GBTI, Republic Bank Limited, Tiffany Jeffrey Durant, Bishop's High School Board of Governors, Bishop's High School Parent Teachers Association, Mr. Casey Bailey, Channel 16, Symmetry for the beautiful printed banner, Mrs. Angie Hackett, the Bishop's High School New York Tri-State Chapter, BOSA Local Chapter, graduating class of 2021. To everyone who would have contributed in one way or the other to make this event a success, thank you. And thank you for listening.
Thank you, Mrs. Reed. I would like to acknowledge the presence of our feature address, Honorable Mr. Nigel Hughes, and thank you for coming. We are going to commence the presentation of prizes for grades 7 to 10, and I know you had lunch, so we will be clapping very vigorously for these students. Got it? We got it. Good. So, assisting us with this, may we please have Ms. Bacchus to present. Ms. Roberts, Ms. Peters Roberts, Ms. Roberts Peters will help us with this. For grade 7A, in the first position, we have Kyle Gilius. In second place, we have Stefan Sukar.
Where's Mr. Smith? Mr. Smith, please organize them, escort them up.
In third place, Amisha Puran. Grade 7B. In first place, Emily Rampersad. In second place, Ruhi Singh. In third place, Clarice Lafar. Grade 7C. In first place, Alina Luknoth. In second place, Katrina Bishambar. In third place, Leona Robinson. To help us with grade 8, I'll call on Ms. Rampersad. Grade 8A, first, Sasia Wilkinson. Second, LaShante Berkeley. Third, Akila Gray. Grade 8B, first, Videsh Daulat Ram. Second, Kavish Samwaru. Third, Janvi Singh. Grade 8C, Sharon Persad in first place. Second, Malia Ward. Third, Hemdevi Yudi Singh. I will now call on Ms. Bryan.
First, and Ms. Mabel said please announce it. After make the correction, Malia was first, Sharon second, and Henry was third.
Okay, so for grade 8C, Malia Ward, first place, second place, Sharon Prasad, and third place, Hemdevi Yudi Singh. 8D, first, Vimla Prasad. Second, Sophia Aziz. Third, Sonia Noel. Grade 9, A. First, Anissa Pitt. Second, Christina Nyamatali. No. Third, Kishan Skeet. I'll now call on Ms. Payne. First, for 9B, Jolisa Samuels. Second, Ariana Sam. Third, Hafiz Aziz. Thank you, Ms. Payne. Ms. Bell? Nine C, first, Marisa Ali. Second, Simran Ramatar. Third, Aditya Jetu. Grade 9D, I'll now ask Ms. Katrina Stevens to step in. First, Amanda Kaladine. Second, Angelina Dorey. In third place, Ariel Solomon.
We'll continue with our awards for grade 10, starting with grade 10A. We'll invite Mrs. Elizabeth Williams Niles to the stage. Mrs. Niles. Aaron Cintil in first place. Janaya Johnson in second place. And third, Chelsea Griffith. Yeah, thank you, Mrs. Niles. We'll invite Miss Camille Britton to the stage to distribute the awards to grade 10B. In first place, Zaina Kwalanda. Second, Amelia Balaram. Third, Nirmala Kumar. Ms. Deftaram Roop will now hand over the prizes for grade 10C. First place, Corfina Stephen. Second place, Gabriela Jaikaran. Gabriela is absent. Third place, Ayara Gonzalez. I'll now invite Mrs. Scott Tingaki to distribute the prizes for grade 10T, 10 technical. First place, Evangeline Norman. Second place, Marissa Cambridge. These are the only two girls in the tech class. In third place, Chandan Suraj. I can't see him. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Tingaki. We'll proceed with our program for this afternoon. I would like to acknowledge our guest speaker, Mr. Nigel Hughes. Welcome, sir. I will now invite Mr. Andrew Romaldo to introduce our guest speaker for today. Mr. Romaldo.
Clarence Anthony Nigel Hughes, most commonly known as Nigel Hughes, is no stranger and actually needs no introduction to us. And I dare to say that he is renowned both locally and internationally. Barrister at law, Mr. Hughes, described in one of my most recent correspondences, is one of Guyana's most influential legal luminaries. He is a partner of Hughes, Fields, and Stobie. British trained, Mr. Hughes graduated with an LLB honors and LLM from University College London, University of London. He then pursued his legal education at the Council of Legal Education, London. Mr. Hughes is quite the fit for this afternoon's proceedings. We believe so because what the education system aims to achieve is to put into society individuals who will further the development of our country. And Mr. Hughes is no stranger to influence, progress, and change. Mr. Hughes has been involved in several significant developments in the field of advocacy and legal practice in Guyana. He has developed considerable experience and expertise in the areas of banking, commercial law, insurance, intellectual property, telecommunications law, public utilities, mining, just to name a few. In 2002, Mr. Hughes was elected to the presidency of the Guyana Bar Association, and in that capacity was instrumental in convening the Social Partners Initiative, which comprised the Guyana Bar Association, the Private Sector Commission, and the Trade Unions Congress. This initiative was established after the traditional means of engagement between the two major political parties had become significantly challenged, and the country embarked on a period of increased degradation. Also in his capacity as president of the Guyana Bar Association, Mr. Hughes established a special committee of the Guyana Bar Association to assist the Chief Justice in the reduction of a backlog of cases. The committee successfully reviewed and advised the Honorable Chief Justice on the status of at least 2,000 cases, which were subsequently brought up for consideration and disposed of by judges of the High Court of the Supreme Court of Judicature. In 2006, Mr. Hughes was a member of the Chief Justice's Select Committee, with which he was tasked the responsibility of establishing new rules for the Commercial Court. The rules are now an integral part of the new Commercial Court. Mr. Hughes is further affiliated with the Criminal Law Review Committee, the International Bar Association, the Inter-American Development Bank. Most significantly, Mr. Hughes is an alumnus par excellence of the Bishop's High School. And I might add that he is a son of Warren House. Please join me in welcoming to the podium Mr. Nigel Hughes, attorney at law, your keynote speaker.
Good afternoon, Madam Headmistress, proud parents, the focus of this afternoon, the students. You wouldn't believe it, 40 years ago I was in this hall, like you students, waiting to graduate, and I absolutely hated the person they chose to give the feature speech. He spoke too long, I can't remember what he spoke about, and he spoke about things that I didn't understand. And so today I'm not going to punish you the same way he punished me then. I'm going to be very, very, very short. And I thank you for saying great, because I could say thank you very much now and I can leave. My greatest educational experience in Guyana has been at Bishop's High School. Absolutely, without a doubt, greatest experience. And without wanting to date her, I see one of my colleagues from when I was in school, way behind me, of course, Sandra Davidson, who was in school at the same time. So the headmistress today, in her very, very kind invitation to me, but punishment to you, has asked me to speak about creating my success story through empowerment, determination, and focus. Good news for you is I haven't prepared anything, so I'm not going to be that long, but I do want to start by saying perhaps the most important thing about empowerment is acknowledging those that went before us. There is a very, very famous saying that says, if we stand tall today, or whenever we stand tall today, we stand on the shoulders of those who went before us. And I just want to talk a little bit about empowerment, because empowerment is not about empowering yourself. Empowerment is about opening doors for other persons. And I'm just going to pick two examples in the history of bishops of great, great empowerment in our history. As you know, and I'm very happy today that most of the graduates and the persons who have been receiving prizes have been the ladies. I've seen more ladies go up for prizes than men. Boys, we got to get our act together, but congratulations to the ladies. There was a time prior to 1974 when this institution only had female students in it. And prior to 1974, there was no female judge in the High Court. There were no leading female lawyers. There certainly was no female judge in the Court of Appeal. There was no female Chief Justice. Guyana did not have the Caribbean Court of Justice. This school, faced with that history, as you can imagine, in 1974 it was taken for granted that women were not going to become judges, they were not going to become lawyers, they were not going to aspire to become members of the Court of Appeal. And that was the norm in 1974. But there was a big change in 74. They allowed everybody to get access to education, and we got what you take for granted today, which is free education, certainly at the secondary school. I only want to speak about two products of that era, one from before. Product of this school, the very first female judge in the history of Guyana was Desiree Bernard. Desiree Bernard went to Bishop's High School. Went on, after having broken that ceiling, she went on to become the first female Chief Justice. She didn't stop there, went on to become the first female judge in the Court of Appeal, went on to become the first female chancellor, and then went on to become the first female judge of the Caribbean Court of Justice until she retired about 7-8 years ago. And she was like you, sitting in this school in a graduation ceremony, wishing that she didn't have to listen to somebody like me speak to you at graduation. The other person that I want to celebrate is with us and was in school a couple of years behind me, is our current Chief Justice, Madam Justice Roxanne George, who I believe is the finest Chief Justice that we have had since we've had independence. The reason I say this is because of all the high schools, and I know I'm partially biased, I spent 2 years here, of all the high schools that produce students and turn them into citizens, Bishop's produces the citizens who open the most doors for the persons that come behind them. They create a cadre of people, and you have had the privilege of going here, who are dedicated to giving back to the society so that they will open more doors and create more opportunities for the next generation. You are very, very, very privileged, but it's also perhaps the most dangerous time for you to be entering adulthood and the working world. And I say that to you for this. Guyana has experienced and continues to experience the best economic fortunes it has had since it has become a country, and that is since 1966. That is a fact. And that is not a result of the work of any of us or our parents or our foreparents. God has just smiled in Guyana and given it the biggest blessing it can ever have in the resource of oil. But it puts you in a difficult position because it gives you opportunities that no other previous generation has ever had to succeed. And I don't care how much your contemporaries or your parents tell you how good Guyana will become, you have no idea how great Guyana will become because we have no precedent, we have never been here before, and the amount of wealth that we have been given to such a small number of people is unprecedented. So we will do well, and you are lucky to be here. But it's also perhaps the most dangerous and difficult time that any student has had to face in the history of the country. And the reason for that is that you will have far more distractions than any other generation has had before. And the problem with distractions, and guys, you will know that coming through high school, because we had many distractions, but at least, they sat next to us in the classroom. The problem with distractions is if you don't have the strength of character, the commitment to purpose, sense of purpose, and sense of understanding about where you're going to go, you will be distracted by anything. And the danger with having a lot of money, particularly where the country does not have a history of managing money well, is that you will have great projects and you will have great foolish projects, and they may look the same. And unless you can call on your resources, particularly the training that you have had while you're a student, you will get distracted. And because you are members of the leadership class that will lead this country, no two ways about it. If you look at the data, most of the people that make influential policy decisions come from the top schools. And therefore, you are more likely than not to be in a position where you will make decisions that will determine what happens to the future of the country. And therefore, you need to be strong, but stronger insofar as distractions are concerned. So I'd like to congratulate you on being born at this particular point in time. The challenge with good fortune is, if you don't manage it well, you will not empower the next generation after you. You may be okay, but the next generation after you may not benefit from decisions you ought to have taken. And that is a real challenge. Guyana, of all the English-speaking Caribbean countries, has the most resources even before oil. We had the greatest landmass. We had more gold than any other country, certainly in the Caribbean. We had more natural resources, whether it's timber, and we have, apart from oil, what is going to become the most expensive asset in the next 10 years, which is water in abundance. The sad thing about our history, though, is that we have never managed any of these resources. And there's no one single individual or group or organization that you could lay blame at. We have all collectively failed to take the optimal opportunity from what we've had. And so your generation is tasked with reversing that flow. So insofar as your requirement to empowerment, dedication, and focus is concerned, the buck stops with you. Getting here this afternoon, I was an awful student. I failed to focus. I got an invitation and I got the little handout that said that the graduation was going to be at the Cultural Center. Kadeem called me up and said, Cultural Center. And I said, yeah, okay, I'll get away from court and I go to the Cultural Center. I then got a letter from the headmistress, which I didn't read. I said, okay, yeah, no problem. It's Cultural Center. Go there for 1 o'clock. I said I was going to be late because I was going to be court. And like the poor student I am, I didn't read the letter. So I arrive at Culture Center and I drive to the car park, and there is an absolutely huge number of persons in the car park and more cars than you'll see at Starbrook Market. And I thought, my God, everybody's driving to Bishop's, going to school. They must have the president coming. Never seen so many people. Bad student again. I park my car, I get out the car, go to the back of the crowd, and I'm standing there, you know, nobody there to take me to the front. So I says, okay. And then after about 3 minutes, I discover it was a funeral. So I didn't focus. I continued not to focus, so I get back in the car and I drive around the front and I decide, well, maybe the graduation is inside the cultural center. So I get him and I go to the guard at the gate, and you know, guards look at you and like, if you know, big man, you're losing your mind kind of thing, you know. And yeah, hi, Mr. Hughes, and they're very polite. How you doing? What you coming to do? Are you having a show? You want to? And they said, no. I said, well, Bishop's graduation. They said, no, Bishop was here. Neither bishops were not here. So the essence of coming through Bishops, and I'm a product of that, is that I obviously did not focus. And Madam Headmistress, forgive me for not having, and it was a one-pager. This wasn't a 6-page invitation. This was a one-pager. So it was important that when you go forward and you get as old as I am, you have to focus, otherwise you might end up at a funeral. So to keep on the theme that the good Prime Minister, sorry, I said Prime Minister, Headmistress has asked me to talk about, determination. I don't need to, there's nothing I can say to you about determination that you don't know. You have had to sit down, prepare, go through long hours to pass some exam, get nervous about it, don't sleep, cancel many other things that you wanted to do, just to be able for somebody to write on a piece of paper and say, hey, you got an A or a grade 1 or whatever grade you got, and if you are unfortunate to be in this year and you get all dressed up and ready to go, they tell you you got to wait 3 more weeks for the exams. Determination perhaps is the greatest asset that you can have in your arsenal. It is not being able to get up and do well on the one occasion. It's being able to get up every single day and perhaps quite often repeat the same thing over and over so that you actually achieve your goal. Allow me very briefly to talk about something that I hope you don't have to face often in your life, but I hope you face it at least once, and that is failure. You are going to fail, I don't wish this on you, you are going to fail at something in life. And the test is not the fact that you have failed, but what you do with the experience of failure. And there's only one way to deal with failure, which is to get up and keep going. But that requires a mental element that differentiates the successful from those that just go along for the ride. And the test is when you meet those difficult circumstances, which you will meet in your life, whether in your personal or professional life, you will meet them. The test is how you confront them. And it is my hope that your period that you have spent here at Bishops, and as you continue to move on, both in your educational, professional, and social lives, that you develop the skills to be able to deal with every possible challenge that you are likely to face in your life and get up and continue. And if you face failure more than once, you have to be able to get up again and continue going. That is the real challenge of life. It is not necessarily the superstars like Mr. Bolt that continue to win over and over. It is those that continue to plod on despite their challenges. And I say to you, whenever you meet those challenges, I hope that you have at your period here at Bishop's, and whether you go on to further education, develop the characteristics that will allow you to confront that. I want to say, particularly to those amongst us who have continuously been taken for granted, and every time I get the opportunity, I take advantage of it, it is the teachers. They are the bedrock of who you will become. It is what they instill in you, both from their actual teaching and from their actions while you're at school, that will make you the successful citizens you are. And I would like to invite all these beautifully dressed up graduates to stand and give a round of applause to your teachers. Thank you. And in keeping with my promise when I started, when I was sitting in your position, I didn't want him to keep going on and quoting phrases from long dead people. So with that, I will say thank you very much for having indulged me this afternoon. I want to congratulate all the graduates here this afternoon. Parents, I know how proud you must feel that you have brought, whether it's your first, second, third, or even 13th child to this position. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that very inspiring piece, Mr. Hughes. We hear you with the charge to the young ladies, and I agree with you so much on the perseverance of everything. Keep going, keep pushing. But I sat at the back there and I listened, and I was trying to picture in my head you at this funeral with your speech, and I cackled. But thank you. We're now going to ask the BHS choir to play a song for us.
The pen's in my hand, ending unplanned. Staring at the blank page before you, open up the dirty window, let the sun illuminate the words that you cannot find. Reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibitions, feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Judge yourself in words unspoken. Live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your book begins. The rest is still unwritten. Hey. Oh, oh. I break tradition. Sometimes my tries are outside the line, yeah.
We've been conditioned to not make mistakes, but I can't live that way, no.
Staring at the blank page before you, open up the dirty window, let the sun illuminate the words that you cannot find. Reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibitions, feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Judge yourself in words unspoken. Live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your book begins. Feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Judge yourself in words unspoken. Live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your book begins. The rest is still unwritten. Staring at the blank page before you, Open up the dirty window, let the sun illuminate the words that you cannot find. Reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibitions. Feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you. Only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Judge yourself with words unspoken. Live your life with eyes wide open. Today is where your book begins. Feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you. Only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Judge yourself with words unspoken. Live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your book begins. The rest is still unwritten. Oh, oh, oh. The rest is still unwritten. Oh, oh, oh. The rest is still unwritten. Oh, oh, oh. The rest is still unwritten. Oh.
Are we gonna go?
Thank you very much, members of the BHS choir. That is just a part of the choir. Can you put your hands together for them again? That's just a part of the choir. It's just a part of the graduating class. The rest of the choir still to be heard when you visit us next time for another prize-giving ceremony and another graduation exercise. We have talent here. Can we agree that we have talent at the Bishop's High School? We have talent. And when we see talent, when we can identify talent, we nurture it. We don't throw it away. We nurture talent because we are putting talent out there in the society when they graduate. At this time, we'll move on with the program. Thanks again to the choir for such lovely singing. We'll move on to the distribution of certificates for the CSEC class. Distribution of certificates. We'll start with arts class 5A or grade 11A. I will now invite Mr. Andre Romaldo and Mrs. Providence Reed to the stage.
Shavana Prasad, distinction. Sayapet Adams, distinction. Matthew Balak, distinction. Afifa Ali, credit. Yonika Sanchara, credit. Ayana Mikhail, credit. Ranita Omar, credit. Shivana Ruplal, credit. Terry-Ann Wright, credit. Vishwani Ramharak, credit. Ethan Lowe,
Thank you very much, Mr. Romaldo and Mrs. Reed. We now proceed with the business class. I will invite Ms. Jasmine Bacchus to the stage and Mrs. Tamara Austin.
Simran Jadanot, distinction. Ushade Arjun, distinction. Joel Ali, distinction. Michael Watson, distinction. Raul Dionarine, distinction. Richie Gorin, distinction. Luke Chung, distinction. Harish Ramdin, distinction. Baimati Harnot, distinction. Rachel Williams, credit. Khadijah 5, credit. Bianca Lindo, credit. Ariane Passad, credit. Ricardo Dabi, credit. Jiaying Lu, credit. Amir Ruplal, credit. Jasmine Washington, credit. Malik Fawcett, credit.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Austin and Ms. Bacchus. We now move to the science stream. We'll invite Ms. Mangra and Dr. Melissa Vaswick to the stage. You read.
Presenting 5 Science. Pass with distinction, Israel Desir. Pass with distinction, Jaheim Stephen. Pass with distinction, Maisha Damien. In absentia. Pass with distinction, Abigail McCollin. Pass with distinction, Adesh Kayam. Pass with distinction, Martin Pereira. Pass with distinction, Zelina Khan. Pass with distinction, Sahira Kasim. Pass with credit, Marissa Mal. Pass with credit, Mawali June. Pass with credit, Miriam Paul. Pass with credit, Safira Abraham Williams. Pass with credit, Crystal McLean. Pass with credit, Zalika Mentis. Pass with credit, Tahira Shah. Pass with credit, Aishani Prasad. Pass with credit, Ashley Rambisoon. Whoops. Pass with credit, Amrita Ramsarup. Pass with credit, Destiny Payne. Pass with credit, Jamal Cord. Pass with credit, Emily McKenzie. Pass with credit, Stefana Wilson. Pass with credit, Shineri Johnny. Oh. Pass with credit, Shaliza Hamid. Pass with credit, Safia Baksh. Pass with credit, Alia Bowlin. Pass with credit, Shaquille Bob. Pass with credit, Danica Wilson. Pass with credit, Anas Alfred. Pass with credit, Shanique Bourne. Crystal Hoyt. Pass with Gabrielle Stafford in absentia. Pass with credit from the business class, Tihani Henry. Five Tech, take positions. Mr. Smith? Yeah.
Five Tech, I would like to call Mr. Malcolm and Mr. Corsi John to the stage.
Presenting 5 Tech, passed with distinction, Carl Bovell. Passed with distinction, Nishan Ned. Passed with distinction, passed with distinction, Adam Singh. Passed with distinction, Michaela Thomas. Pass with credit, Jude Howard. Pass with credit, Zinde Lykin. Pass with credit, Nathan Budu. Pass with credit, Antoine Michael. Not here. Pass with credit, Farissa Douglas. Pass with credit, Jaden Trotman. Pass with credit, Tulsi Gobin. Pass with credit, Tyrese Cummins. Pass with credit, Angeline Juman. Pass with credit, Kumisha Lokeshwar. Pass with credit, Sharad Muller. Not here. Milton Williams. Not here. Odell Barry. Chaitram Abichwar. Omari Smart. Joran Payne. Pass with distinction, science, Maisha Damon.
Thank you very much, Mr. Malcolm and Mr. John. We now proceed with awards for CAPE students. I'd like to call Ms. Mason and Mrs. Sandra Davidson Lowe to the stage. I'm sorry. Mrs. Lowe, I'm sorry. I'll need you just now. All right. Sorry, that was a little oversight. Our next item on the program. Congratulations to the graduating class, the CSEC graduating class of 2021. Let's give them a round of applause again. We'll now invite our valedictorian for CSEC, Mr. James Stephen, to give his presentation.
Good afternoon, all. Former classmates, parents, teachers, and other guests, special invitees, good afternoon to you as well. It is my pleasure to be here celebrating this momentous occasion with you all. First and foremost, I would like to give thanks to God for bringing us here safely today, and for also giving us the strength during these years which allowed us to reach to this point in our lives, and I pray that He continues to do the same for all of us in the future. Furthermore, I'd like to thank the parents and guardians. I know that during our 5 years at this prestigious institution, the Bishop's High School, the best high school in Guyana, our parents have been our main source of support. They've been there since the beginning. We would not have been here where we are today if it were not for them. If it weren't for their sacrifices. So, on behalf of all the students, I'd like to express our gratitude to the parents, for assisting us on this journey. Special appreciation goes to my parents, Wade and Candace Stephen. I know I would not be here today if it weren't for your sacrifice, support, and guidance. Also, it'd be remiss of me if I didn't include my adoring grandmother, Karen Anthony, my #1 supporter. Thank you for everything you've done for me. I adore you all and appreciate your belief in me. Once more, thank you all to the parents so much for believing in us. However, I cannot only give thanks to our biological parents and guardians. Our school mothers and fathers, the teachers, also need some love and appreciation, for they were the ones that aided and assisted us in our various subject areas. They were always there for us through difficult times, assisted us through difficult times. They were very understanding and lenient when necessary. Other times they would be very stern and would give us a good lecture on some important life lesson when we did something wrong. Whenever we were punished, most of us might not have been appreciative of the lesson we were supposed to learn. We may not realize it yet, but maybe if it weren't for those lectures, we wouldn't be here today. I know some of us are a little mischievous, never handing up assignments, always submitting scrappy work, Zende. And the teachers and ourselves would have our little falling out. But despite all of that, teachers, you have always stuck by our sides and had the patience to deal with our nonsense. So on behalf of my former classmates, not only would I like to thank you, but also I would like to offer an apology for all the mischiefs you had to endure. Finally, to the students, we have had one heck of a journey. To my classmates from the B class, we might not have always seen eye to eye, but when we did, in those 3 years together, those were some of the best moments of our lives. In terms of schoolwork, while my classmates would find a way to complete assignments after starting it on the due date, of course, and congregate to study and quiz each other when there was a class quiz, me, being the diligent student I am, I would most likely be running on the field or something of the sort. Schoolwork was the least of my worries, and my reports at the end of the term would reflect this. Of course, my mother did not let me forget either. I can still remember the sting of slaps after carrying home a report that had 55.5% on it. Yes, 55.5%. I'm not proud, but it is what it is. However, there were good times too, especially in those last weeks of the school terms, without the stress of work and just vibes. We would play video games on our phones non-stop, of course, without the knowledge of the teachers. Mini and Soul Night were our favorites back then. When we were tired doing that, we would resort to playing football for the rest of the day. Those were the best times for me indeed, because that was when everyone was slacking off, just like me. Sorry. And that was also the time before the report card came in about a week's time. I'm pretty sure everyone had a blast, especially the C class. Unfortunately, I can't say much for A. They were the quiet ones in my eyes. After our third year together, we had to choose our streams. Persons with similar interests and different personalities were all going to be sharing the same space. In the first term in fourth form, persons I rarely spoke to in the 3 years prior had now become some of my closest friends. After that first term, it seemed like the remainder of high school would be a joyride to the finish line. Everyone was on top of their game. Competition was tight. Everything was perfect. But COVID had other plans for us. That was a major roadblock in our joyride. A majority of us, I believe, lost our motivation. Lost our motivation to achieve what we wanted. Our enthusiasm to learn new things and push forward vanished, and I believe we all, trust me, we all got significantly lazier due to the pandemic. However, fifth form came around, and that was when everyone began regaining their senses. The hustle and bustle to get work done, making the sacrifice to attend those early morning class, although some of us, myself included of course, may have slept through half of the class, sometimes the entire class, became a priority. Though it was a struggle, I believe that we got through that period because we had the desire to reach our goals. Additionally, we had developed a sense of togetherness and the ability to relate to each other. Because we knew we were not alone on that journey, we were able to persevere. I, for one, would have probably gone insane if it weren't for my friends who were always there as a support system. They were always there to provide a good laugh and good ears to listen to me whenever I had a problem. You know yourselves. And for that, I would like to thank you all. As I conclude my speech to the graduating class of 2021, we have to admit that we have had some of the best times of our lives indeed. When I reminisce on the times we have spent together, whether it's by myself or with friends, I would do nothing but smile. However, we can't dwell in the past. We have very promising futures, and that is where our focus should be right now. Furthermore, I would like to wish you all the utmost best in your future endeavors, and I pray to God that we can all achieve our goals. Once again, praise must be given unto Him for bringing us thus far. And before I leave, I would just like to leave with you this quote by Winston Churchill. Google worked its magic. Success consists of going from failure to failure without the loss of enthusiasm. So, to all my former classmates, keep striving for the best and don't stop at your failures, because those failures are just a guide to your success. Once again, I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Once again, congratulations, Jaheem. You must have been preparing to become a doctor because I hope your handwriting now is a little bit more legible. We shall commence the distribution of the CAPE certificates. I would like to ask Ms. Mason and Ms. Davidson Lowe onto the stage, please.
Presentation of certificates to art students. Naomi Hart, passed with distinction. Malkia Harris, passed with distinction. Aaliyah Green, passed with distinction. Gabrielle Burgess, passed with distinction. Jaria Young, passed with credit. Kiara Hazelwood, passed with credit. Shania Majramutu, passed with credit. Aquino Luke, passed with credit. Giselle McCray, passed with credit. Royden Vaughn, passed with credit. Hasina Edwards, passed with credit. Dextroy McLean, passed with credit. Alian Monroe, passed with credit. Quenisha Patterson, passed with credit. Maria Sugdeo, passed with credit. Shafali Burnett, passed with credit. Brittany Valdares, passed with credit. Delicia Jenner, passed with credit. Tyra Crummy Wing, passed with credit. Ephraim Pross, passed with credit. Shakayla Trefall, passed with credit. Anicia George, passed with credit. Sarah Newark, passed with credit. Shamar Damon, passed with credit. Brandon Joseph, passed with credit. Samuel Boucher, passed. Bianca Clark, Emily Williams,
Thank you, Ms. Mason. Thank you, Mrs. Lowe. I would like to ask Kadeem Davis and Mr. Smith to distribute the certificates to the business class.
Presenting the Cape Business graduating class of 2021. Crystal Benjamin, passed with distinction. Juanita Duncan, passed with distinction. Maya Kendall, passed with credit. Ariella Lewis, passed with credit. Latifa Pillay, passed with credit. Kyle Amsterdam is absent, passed with credit. Lisa Joseph, passed with credit. Akashini Ali, passed with credit. Lamar Fife is not here, passed with credit. Kiral Ari, passed with credit. Victor Henry, passed with credit. Varol Henry, passed with credit, is not here. Marisa Carroll, passed with credit. Tiana May Cock-Beckles. And Gerald Ward. Gerald Ward is not here. Thank you very much, Mr. Davis. And
Thank you. I would now ask Ms. Mangra and Ms. Williams Niles. Please grace the stage.
Presenting Upper Sixth Science, passed with distinction, Sharita Gibbs. Pass with distinction, Nevali Pinero. Pass with distinction, Kiana Hodge. Pass with distinction, Romeo Bradford. Pass with distinction, Janelle Batson. Oops. Pass with distinction, Selena Sullivan. Pass with distinction, Kellyanne Kelman. Pass with distinction, Shamiza Baksh. Pass with distinction, Faith Elias. Pass with credit, Shania Smith. Pass with credit, Tristan Hart. Pass with credit, Jordan Kelman. Pass with credit, Khalil Farrington. Pass with credit, Jonique Adams. Pass with credit, Tamara Purnwasi. Pass with credit, Candy Garden. Pass with credit, Delicia Cameron. Pass with credit, Alia Edwards. Pass with credit, Felicia Manderson. Pass with credit, Stephanie Khan, Alita Ray, Hassani Hazelwood. That concludes Upper Sixth Science.
Thank you. Shall we please welcome the valedictorian from the Cape class, Ms. Sharita Gibbs.
to the education officers, chairman of the Board of Governors, special invitees, head teacher, deputy head teacher, our class teachers, parents, guests, and of course, the graduating class of 2021. A pleasant afternoon to you all. We are thankful for your presence today to partake in our graduating ceremony and to witness the achievements of our students. Firstly, as graduates of the Bishop's High School CAPE program, we are here, torn between the excitement of our future and the joy of our memories. But our experiences throughout this program was not all rainbow and sunshine. The pandemic and social distance guidelines, for one, denied us numerous in-person interactions and conceivable experiences. This, unfortunately, placed many of our relationships at risk, some friendships, some even romantic. Eventually, many of us developed little to no desire to communicate. We became quite comfortable in self-isolation and struggled in our adaptation to self-study. However, some of us, like myself, experienced the closure of school more as a blessing than a curse. Surprisingly, I, for one, was able to build meaningful friendships, which positively impacted my mental health and thus were instrumental in my academic performance throughout the last 2 years. Of course, some of us became a bit unproductive and sluggish, myself included. Our diligence sort of faded, which resulted in a lot of us skipping classes, doing a lot of last-minute studying, cramming for major exams, and the sport of doing homework while it's being marked. Not that this was the first time for some of us, but it is to say one of our greatest challenges was staying motivated. Nevertheless, we persevered through those early morning and late evening classes. We studied for long hours while simultaneously complaining if losing sleep was worth it. We went into those exams and we persevered through the self-doubt, and that is why we celebrate being graduates today. During CAPE, we cried and we made each other laugh a lot, largely by constantly updating our WhatsApp statuses with relatable memes. In fact, our experience was found well in the words of the wise man, "Dem ain't why we get no breeze." If you know me, you know it was in fact me who posted that particular meme consistently. It was the little things like this, the late night Zoom calls, the early morning WhatsApp calls, which allowed us to share that burden of stress, panic as a unit, and to motivate us throughout our exams. After exams in year one, there was much controversy around our grades, and arguably, most of us were on our way out of this program. But we thank God for our resilience and the encouraging words from our teachers, parents, and mentors. We stayed. Even with the fear that the past could repeat itself, we were able to conclude what we've started, and it is commendable. It speaks to our determination and willingness to try again. Two very crucial traits that you must possess in order to be successful. So even as you continue on your journey in pursuit of education, wealth, entrepreneurship, skilled labor, etc., I want to emphasize that there is no way around being successful. It's mandatory that you work really hard, and that in itself calls for sacrifice and discipline. During your university years, you are going to feel overwhelmed by studies, and you will be sleep deprived. Some overthinkers like myself will complain and say that getting this degree feels like a major wrong turn. However, I want to stress to you something that I learned in medical school, and that is, if you sleep, you get sleep grades. Students, the reality is that as you pursue higher education, even more time and effort will be demanded from you, with a greater workload and higher expectations from the people who believe in you. But I promise that if you keep steady and remain devoted to your academic responsibilities, the emotional reward is greater. Today, you graduates are being recognized for something remarkable, the commitment to your success. And I'm convinced that it has only just begun. But let's not forget the people that were committed to our success. So at this moment, I'd like to thank and honor all our teachers, our families, and loved ones for challenging us and investing in us. I especially want to thank my mom, my sisters, uncles, my pastor, the church family, my teachers, Sir Lakra, Miss Harris, Sir Dheeraj, and my close friends, you know yourselves. You truly were my backbone, and I cannot begin to imagine where I would be without your extreme support and selflessness concerning my plans and dreams. So I honor you all today. It's so important not to overlook what they did for us, considering that the last 2 years were hard times for most, if not all of us, mentally, physically, and financially. For you to encourage and support your children as parents and be patient with your students as teachers, we are immensely grateful. Last but definitely not the least, we must give honor and gratitude to God, who saw us through all challenges, making us better, stronger, and wiser. Even as I conclude, I won't stand here and give you inspirational quotes that I had to research or I wasn't even inspired by throughout my journey, because I am most inspired by what God's word says concerning my plans and aspirations. Proverbs 3:5-6 says that you should trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding, that in all your ways you should submit to him and he will make your path straight. With that being said, congratulations to all our graduates today. As a Bishopian, you are intelligent, you are outstanding, you are an example to your counterparts. You will achieve that self-fulfilling career, and you will be recognized for your hard work and diligence in elite places while simultaneously being wealthy and looking good doing all of it. Thank you.
Amen and amen. Congratulations, Ms. Gibbs. Work hard and celebrate harder. I would now ask West Ministry International to entertain us with a dance.
Know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future.
They haven't seen what you
beautiful. At this point, I would like to invite our guest speaker, Mr. Nigel Hughes, on the stage, and our head girl to present a plaque of gratitude to Mr. Hughes. Round of applause, please. I would now like to invite Mr. Kosi John, the chairman of the Bishop's High School Board of Governors, to deliver a charge to the graduating class.
Good afternoon, every single person in the room. I stand on the protocol that has already been established, and I want to pause for a moment and say welcome to the Bishop's High School. Put your hands together. Put your hands together. Put your hands together for bishops. When I was approached to do the charge, I thought to myself, well, certainly we could have found someone other than myself to present this. And then they said to me that they thought that I was the most apt person. So I humbly accepted to come before you this afternoon to say to you that life is about preparation. Just look around this room this afternoon and you will see a representation of preparation. You will see the epitome of what it means to be prepared. Yes? Several of the young people we now refer to as graduates of this esteemed learning institution, 2 years or 5 years or 7 years of hard work, dedication, and perseverance. You have faced many challenges. With the help of your families and friends and peers, you have overcome and have become beacons of excellence. It is awe-inspiring to me to look into this sea of green and white and pink. I said pink. Yes, pink. Yeah, put your hands together. Yes, sir, go ahead. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. Of pink and purple. Yes, yes, yes. These are the representation of the kaleidoscope of the Bishop's High School. Green and white and pink and purple and red and blue and yellow. You have faithfully run this race and have now completed this period of preparation. This is just a period of preparation. The senior leadership team of the Bishop's High School, the staff, the Board of Governors, and alumni congratulate you on this noteworthy achievement. In some ways, all of you have no doubt come a long way in your particular journey. But in other ways, you are just beginning. I am positive that all of you already are aware of what you'd like to do or where you'd like to be. But the question is, how are you going to get there? And so I thought I'd liken this presentation to the life of a swimmer. I must say that I am no swimmer myself. I love swimming, but I can't say to you that I'm an avid swimmer. During the quest for swimming excellence, swimmers acquire a broad range of skills and disciplines. Many of these are life skills. Swimming life skills are a set of skills acquired by a competitive swimmer. that can enable them to effectively deal with situations encountered in daily life. These include swimming life skill itself. Perhaps one of the greatest swimming skills is swimming itself. Learning to swim can save a life. Confidence. Competitive swimming can develop a swimmer both technically and physically. Time management. Top swimmers learn to understand the importance of good time management. Goal setting. Goal setting is not just confined to swimming, it's a life skill. It helps to establish and focus on clear targets, priorities, and expectations. Adopting a healthy lifestyle. Competitive swimming educates the swimmer about the importance of a healthy lifestyle. Mental skills. Many top swimmers use a range of mental techniques. Focusing on your own performance. Focusing on your own performance. Top swimmers develop an ability to focus on their own performers. They focus on things they can control, such as their swimming performance. They do not worry about the things they cannot control. Self-improvement. Competitive swimmers are consistently striving for self-improvement. They spend a great deal of time and energy in pursuit of becoming faster, fitter, and stronger. Perseverance and dedication. What is the key to swimming success? Being consistently persistent. Being consistently persistent. Teamwork and communication. Teamwork and communication are indeed key swimming skills. Providing support is mainly the responsibility of your parents. Providing training is the responsibility of the coach. There needs to be an effective communication between the swimmer, the coach, and the parents. As you leave this pool of high school and enter into the sea of tertiary education or work life for that matter, I charge you to be reminded that your tenure at the Bishop's High School, where you are provided diverse opportunities to develop the skills required to succeed in the global arena, while academic qualification is an important achievement, social and practical skills honed at this institution are vital to your success in a world where change is the only constant. I charge you to continue to seek knowledge and understanding and take action from the words of Alvin Tofer, the author of the book, The Future Shock. The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read or write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, or relearn. Remember also that education without character is meaningless. As you proceed to the next stage in your lives, I urge you to use the values, ethical principles inculcated at the Bishop's High School to guide your choices. Always serve with distinction and be guided by the spirit of social outreach, the bedrock of your collective experience here at Bishop's. Let your relationship with your alma mater be ongoing. Opportunities for mentorship abound. And there's always room in our classrooms for real-world perspective offered by alumni with practical experience. Support the Alumni Association in its work to strengthen the institution. Involve yourselves in your communities with civic organizations in the spirit of true comrades and true friends. Your contribution can make a positive difference at a time when so many have given up hope. Graduates, Bishopians, your journey henceforth will involve great trials and great joys. In the midst of both victories and defeats, joys and sorrows, actively call to mind the swimmer in you. Actively call to mind the swimmer in you and go forward and face the world with courage, confidence, humility, and conquer. And as you do it with all your might. do it with all your might. For there is no work, nor there is no device, nor there is no wisdom in the grave whither thou goest. Labor omnia vincit. I charge you. Thank you very much.
Mr. John, I can't think of a better person to deliver such a motivational charge to the students. We're now going to move on to presentation of subject prizes for CSEC. Could I please ask the subject teachers prepare yourselves?
Grade 11 subject prizes. First prize according to CSEC's merit list. Mr. Kellon Alt, Ms. Jane Rampasad, Defta Ramroop, Ambalika Bell, Chevron John, Jasmine Bacchus. These are the teachers that I'm calling there to give out these prizes. Prizes are going to, for additional mathematics, James Stephen, Mr. Alt, Agricultural Science Double Award, Israel Desir. Biology, Israel Desir. Caribbean history, Seapet Adams. Chemistry, Martin Pereira. Economics, Harish Ramdin. Electronic Document Preparation and Management, EDPM, Zelina Khan. English Aid is award is shared by two students, Seapet Adams and Israel Desir. English B, Israel Desir. Family and Resource Management, Seapet Adams. Ms. Roberts Peters. Food, Nutrition and Health, Amrita Ramroop. French, Abigail McCollin. Geography, Sapet Adams. Human and Social Biology, Israel this year. The next award is shared by two students, Industrial Technology, Electrical, Adam Smith and Michaela Thomas. Adam Singh, sorry. Adam Singh and Michaela Thomas. Information Technology, Oshwade Arjun. Mathematics, Martin Pereira. Music, Unica Sanchara. Office Administration, Simram Jadanot. Physics, Adesh Kayam. Portuguese, Jamal Court. Principles of Accounts, Michael Watson. Principles of Business, Raul Dinarayan. Miss Bell, you are needed on the stage. Religious education, Sapet Adams. Miss Bell. Social Studies, Sapet Adams. Miss Natasha Rampasad, you needed on the stage. Spanish, Sapet Adams. Technical drawing, Nishan Ned. Textile, clothing, and fashion, Stefano Wilson. Theater Arts, Safira Abraham. Stay right there. Visual Arts, Matthew Balak. That brings us to the end of the award of prizes per subject for CSEC. Let's give them another round of applause. Now we are going to the PTA awards. Now, should I announce that? All right, the PTA awards and the service medals will be given on the 13th of May. I just received that communication from the PTA president. All right? I can still call the names, so you will know yourself. You'll be coming on the 13th of May. James Stephen, Carl Bovell, Joel Ali, Israel Dasir, Sharon Kasim, Maisha Damon, Shavana Prasad, Shimran Jagannath, Michaela Thomas, Stefana Wilson, Amrita Ramroop, Taira Saw, Ushwade Arjun, Zelina Khan, Marisa Mal, Crystal McLean, Sepet Adams, Nathan Bodu, Moali June, Kayam Adish Kayam, Martin Pereira, Ariane Prasad, Rachel Williams, Alia Bowlin, Michael Watson, Shakil Bob, Farisa Douglas, Richie Goring, Zenda Lykin, Abigail McCollin, Destiny Payne, Luke Chong, Tyrese Cummins, Ricardo Dibi, Raul Ryan, Jude Howard, Shiniere Johnny, Angelina Juman, Antoine Michael, Nashawn Ned, and Jaden Trotman. The service medals for Allen House will be going to Samuel Booker, Samuel Boucher, Jasmine George, Vashti Inderjeet, Basket House, Janaya Johnson, Serena McKenzie, Aaron Sintil, Kedonna Wilberg, Jor House, Israel Desir, Quanisha Patterson, Jeria Young, Vivas House, Natalia Henry, Zariel Mason, Micaiah Smith, Corfina Stephen, Warren House, Ayara Gonzalez, Rachel Chenzi, Justin Thomas.
Class of 2021, how y'all doing? Congratulations to everyone and all the other recipients that received prizes today. I used to rule the world. Seas would rise when I gave the word. Now in the morning I sleep alone. Sweep the streets I used to own. I used to roll the dice, feel the fear in my enemy's eyes, listen as the crowd would sing. Now the old king is dead, long live the king. 1 minute I held the key, next the walls were closed on me, and I discovered that my castle stand upon pillars of salt, pillars of sand. I hear Jerusalem bells are ringing, Roman cavalry choirs are singing. Feel my mirror, my soul, a shield of missionaries in a far-off field. For some reason I can't explain, once you know it was never, never alone, this word. But that was when I ruled the world. It was a wicked wild wind blew down the doors and let me in. The shattered windows and the sound of drums. People couldn't believe what I've become. Revolutionary ways. Put my head on a silver plate, just a puppet on a lonely string. All who would ever want to be king. I hear Jerusalem bells are ringing, Roman cavalry choirs are singing. Feel my mirror, my soul is shield. Our missionaries in a far-off field. For some reason I can't explain, I know St. Peter will call my name. And a little less work, well, that was when I ruled the world. I hear Jerusalem bells are ringing, Roman cavalry choirs are singing. Feel my mirror, my soul is shield. Our missionaries in a far-off field. For some reason I can't explain, I know St. Peter will call my name. And a little less work, for that was when I ruled the world.
All right, so we'll now be distributing prizes according to Cape Merit's list. And so for each subject, Accounting Unit 1 and 2, Crystal Benjamin. Biology, Unit 1 and 2, Kiana Hodge. Caribbean Studies, Kiara Hazelwood. Chemistry, Unit 1 and 2, Nivali. Remain on the stage, Navali. Communication Studies, Navali. Don't go too far. Economics, Unit 1 and 2, Kyle Amsterdam. Environmental Science, Navali, Unit 1 and 2. Geography, Unit 1 and 2, Jordan Kalman. History, Unit 1 and 2, Kiara Hazelwood. Integrated Mathematics, Kiana Hodge. Law Unit 1 and 2, Naomi Hart. Literatures in English, Unit 1 and 2, Malkia Harris. Management of Business, Unit 1 and 2, Crystal Benjamin. PVV 495. Please go to your car. Pure Math, Unit 1 and 2, Maria Gonzalez. Physics, Unit 1 and 2, Maria Gonzalez. Sociology, Unit 1 and 2, Naomi Hart. Spanish, Unit 1 and 2, Crystal Benjamin. Entrepreneurship, Unit 1 and 2, also Crystal Benjamin. Performing Arts, Unit 1, Quenisha Patterson. We will now move on to the distribution of special awards. I'll ask Mr. John to assist us. The Carmen Jarvis Memorial Award goes to Corfina Stephen. Come on, we can do better than that. Ms. Roberts? May I please have a representative from Form 2C on the stage? Is anyone still here from Form 2C? Thank you, Mr. John. The Hazelwood Shield for the best performance in mathematics in grade 10, Evangeline Norman. I'll ask Mr. Alt to kindly give this one. Evangeline Norman. The Rogeria Makwat Award for the best performance in music at CSEC. Yannicka Sancharo. The Shirley Field Ridley Award for the best performance in history at CSEC, Sayapet Adams. The Carmen Jarvis Prize for the most outstanding French student at CSEC, Abigail McCollin. May I please invite Dr. Varswak to the stage?
Varswick is not here.
Varswick is not here. Okay.
I'm going to do it. Let's go.
The student who attempted the highest number of subjects at CSEC and passed all, Simran Jaranot. The student who achieved grade 1 passes in all subjects attempted at CSEC, Israel Desir. The Wilson Award for the best mathematics student in grade 13, Kiana Hodge. The Dingan Stevenson Award for the best performance in law in Cape, Naomi Hart. Best Performing Arts Students at CSEC, Sapet Adams. Best Performing Arts Student in grade 12, Naomi Hart. The Best Performance in Spanish at CSEC, Sapet Adams. The Allen Trophy for the Best Student in English, CSEC, Sapet Adams and Israel Desir. Ms. Stephen, please present these awards. Mr. John, please assist us. Best Performing Science Student in grade 12, Sharita Gibbs. May I please ask Dr. Navindranath Rambaran to present this award?
Navin is not here.
He's here. The Paul Bevergem Shield for the Best Business Student at CSEC, Simran Jaranot. The whole place can hear you. The Byrne Trophy for the Best Student in Science at CSEC, Jaheim Stephen. The next award is a new one in memory of Mr. Dummett. The Dummett Memorial Award for the most outstanding student in the industrial technology stream. Carl Bavel. May I ask Mr. John to please?
So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is an inaugural award in the name of Mr. Jermaine Dummett, who was the former chairman of the Board of Governors of the Bishops High School. Jermaine, apart from being a very good friend of mine, was a passionate and an avid sportsman. He was very much committed and dedicated to the work and the very existence of the Bishops High School. He was an all-rounder, so to speak. So we thought it fitting to have an award in his honor for the best industrial technology student, simply because Jermaine himself was an industrial technology student who later became a civil engineer as a professional. It is my pleasure this afternoon to introduce his lovely wife, Mrs. John L. Dummett, who is an alumna, and our two sons, the older one, Mr. Jermaine Jalen, and Mr. Jediah Peter. They're here to present Mr. Bovell with the inaugural Jermaine Dummett Memorial Award for the best student in industrial technology. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen.
The Roxanne George Wiltshire Shield for the best graduating arts major at Cape, Naomi Hart. If Justice George is here. The Pollard Shield for the best performance at CSEC, Jaheim Stephen. Is there anyone here from GBTI? The Paul Bevington Shield for the best economics at Cape, Crystal Benjamin. The Navindranath Rambaran Shield for the best performing science student at Cape, Sharita Gibbs. The Janice Jackson Award for the most outstanding sixth form student at the Bishop's High School, Sharita Gibbs. That wraps up our prize-giving segments of the program. I shall now call on the BHS choir to sing one of my favorite songs, Easy by Adele. BHS choir, take it away.
There ain't no gold in this river that I've been washing my hands in forever. In these waters, but I can't swim right now. In this silence, baby, let me in. Go easy on me, baby. I was still a child, didn't get the chance to feel the world around me. I had no time to choose what I chose to do. So go easy on me.
There ain't no room for things to change when we are both so deeply stuck in our ways. You can't deny
Thank you very much, choir, for that wonderful song. We'll have CSEC reflections, students for CSEC reflections, you know themselves, and students for CAPE reflections. Please proceed to the stage immediately and do your reflections. Immediately after your reflections will be the vote of thanks by the head prefects, head boy Samuel Booker and head girl Jasmine George, followed by our school hymn and closing remarks. So we'll go in that order.
Special invitees, parents, teachers, my fellow colleagues, let me first welcome you again to the class of 2021 graduation ceremony. This afternoon, my colleague and I stand before you to execute a simple yet profound task.
Proud products of what we believe was one of the Bishop's High School's most eccentric batch of young new faces in the year 2016. Forbid us not as we seek to give you in the most embarrassing but unregrettable form the journey of the class of 2021.
Clueless as to what to expect on the first day, we started our journey adorned in the Bishop's fashion that we came to appreciate as our own. Meaning, we stood in two extremely long lines for a ridiculous amount of time. What in the world were we getting ourselves into? Strangers with familiar faces, some of us preferred to stay shy while others gravitated to their associations from grade 6, who they may or may not have been excited to spend another 5 years of their lives with. I'm looking at you, Green Acres people.
The noisiest performers had graced the halls of the Bishop's High School, but we considered it the epitome of our character. That was sure to be remembered. Come to think of it, each class had its own unique noisome quality.
1A, the most civilized of the bunch, or so they thought, was the closest thing to the word quiet you would get. They cared less about mixing with the now esteemed pack until they unleashed their crazy on us a couple years later.
Falling somewhere in the middle of civility and chaos, 1B was the middle child you never wanted, a cross between courtesy and mayhem. They deserve a round of applause for being an absolute platoon and maintaining the most decent work relationship with our teachers, even at the worst of times.
Now let's take a glimpse at the class from which myself and my colleague here hail from. 1C was our home. To many, especially those in charge over us, we were definitely the most uncivilized of the bunch. Yeah, I mean, it was a pleasure to grace the halls with you guys.
1 year down, with 4 to go, real friendships began to develop and rivalries emerged, as this new batch of Bishopians were now assimilating themselves into the prestigious culture of the school.
Level up to year 2, some students began to have an idea what kind of student they would be. I mean, the studious types would be right at home acing all their tests and doing their coursework, trying for the top spot at mark reading and whatnot, often at his or her own emotional torment in the war of academics. Disclaimer, we were not a part of this group by any stretch of the imagination.
Away from the battlefield of the hyper-aggressively studious, a different type of students began to emerge, with extracurricular activities being at the top of our list of priorities. This was the beginning of an experience of the deeper layer of the culture ingrained in the uniforms we wore.
Now on to the personal favorite area of mine, third form, the home of the delightfully infamous CARICOM project. An initiative where the 3 classes competed to illustrate the cultures of 3 randomly selected CARICOM states in song, dance, and whatever hilarious amalgamation of literary arts we could perceive and execute.
This was a time when true friendships and camaraderie among us would be put to the test. Oh boy, some classes truly handled it better than others. Tempers flared, arguments and hilarious heckles ensued daily until it was eventually an event of our past. It took hours, which turned into days, preparing to put on the performance of our lives in a hall filled with our colleagues, teachers, and parents, just as we will today, or just as we have today, rather. Each class poured their hearts into their respective performances, and the experiences were incredible.
But as we know, there can only be one winner in any competition. Hats off to Miss Elizabeth Williams and the then Form 3 class, who I would be delighted to inform you are the proud members of the winning Caricom Project class. Shout out to Montserrat and Samuel Boucher as well.
Moving on to Form 4, the year I'd like to entitle as the beginning of our collective CSEC woes. The academic heat was turned on, and believe it or not, reality began to kick in, with expectations of this being the most challenging period for us because of the most important examinations of our lives at the time. The year 2020 did not tell us of its plans.
The dreaded COVID-19 pandemic pounced on us, forcing a worldwide shutdown. The doors of our academic homes were closed with no immediate solution. How uncertain it seemed of our future and the way forward as our leaders for the first time found themselves in what was a gloomy situation for the nation, let alone the students. Nevertheless, we overcame the trials and hurdles.
To Sir Brian Smith, Sir Scott Tingeke, and all the other teachers who continue to prepare us with this graduating class, in those months, a heartfelt thank you and salute goes out to you. A round of applause, I believe, would be well deserved at this time.
The academic year 2020 to 2021 saw the introduction and implementation of a new way to facilitate the school day. Where technology was once the crutch that aided education's onward pursuit, it was now to become the backbone that enabled the functioning and continuity of the education process at a critical time. We're grateful to the sacrifices made by our parents and guardians and all those who played a role in ensuring that each CSEC student within the Bishop's High School had at least a laptop, computer, tablet, or smartphone to receive our teachings. Let us pause once more for a round of applause for our parents and guardians and our supporters.
The novelty of such a change was not lost on the graduates seated before you today, as we were given more responsibility to ensure our education was delivered. This system would see the birth of a few infamous behaviors and phrases, as bedrooms, bathrooms, and closets became classrooms all the same. Oftentimes, battling slow and unreliable internet connections, coincidentally becoming the plight of every student's existence.
We know that our teachers had a harder time delivering the material to the classes. And as those classes began to feign normalcy, so did class attendance. A misdemeanor I myself was guilty of many times, but they did say confession was good for the soul, so here you go.
Nevertheless, we pushed on in varying intensities, the culmination of which birthed a few funny stories. We experienced it all from signing into classes seconds after waking up to falling to sleep to the sweet lullaby of secondary school education.
Our final year saw a hybrid system put into place, utilizing physical and virtual classrooms alike. It took a while to get accustomed to walking around the half-empty halls of the school in a normal day, but we managed to make the teachers not miss our presence when we were here.
In hindsight, the experience of walking into another class during a lesson and sitting in is one we would rather not trade. From elaborate systems to cover truancy to extracurricular education in an ironic and literal sense of the word, we, the class of 2021, somehow made it work. And we made it through. Today, we sit and in our case, stand before you, proud, successful, and grateful, but yet humble. It is on this note that I leave these quotes with you. Open quote, "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams," close quote, Eleanor Roosevelt. Open quote, "Promise me, you'll always remember you're braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think," close quote, A.A. Milner.
To the teachers, both in school and lessons, who adapted and compromised heavily with us, determined to prepare us for C-second life.
To the auxiliary staff at the Bishop's High, who had to deal with our messes for 5 long years.
To the Education Ministry for finding a way to make necessary systems and have them not fall into themselves.
To our parents for motivating and sometimes chastising us when we were not disciplined enough in our studying.
And last but certainly not least, to each of us graduates,
class of 2021,
It has been an honor attending the Bishop's High alongside you all.
Alongside you all.
Thank you.
Graduates, parents, teachers, members of the Bishop's High School's Old Students Association, members of the Administrative Board of the Bishop's High, special invitees, and general staff of this wonderful institution, a warm good afternoon to you all. Before I officially commence, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to the student body for awarding me this privilege of being one of the presenters on their behalf. With that being said, I should definitely use this time to congratulate all the amazing graduates that are sitting before me. We made it. Congratulations to you all. I want you to look at your neighbor and say, you made it. And I want you to tell yourself, I made it, and really internalize that. In the words of the late Dr. Maya Angelou, you may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them. I believe this was the unspoken mantra of the students of the arts. We have been rooted in a beautiful chaos where both positive and negative experiences coexisted. In addition, the big personalities didn't help either, but it added to the experience. Almost every day felt like reality TV in the arts class. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And oftentimes, I was the mediator, or probably in the predicament myself. I remember the first time we heard about the associate's degree, and the compulsory subject being integrated mathematics. Or better yet, the countless times we wanted to drop literature. And the innumerable times we felt like we knew absolutely nothing in our major, law. But as Zig Ziglar so perfectly said, it's not where you start, it's where you finish. Today, sitting before me are the creme de la creme, the bravest soldiers, and the next multi-millionaires and billionaires in our land and the general world. I am immensely proud of each and every one of you for taking such a powerful step in your academic journeys. For the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. And furthermore, you ought to be proud of yourselves. With this, I implore you to make your dreams reality regardless of the opinions of others. I implore you to do the things that you're passionate about and to live unapologetically. All the world's a stage, so never fail to play the role you were destined to play. In closing, I'll leave you with an excerpt from one of my favorite poems. They may shoot you with their words. They may cut you with their eyes. They may kill you with their hatefulness, but still, like air, you'll rise. Thank you.
So, I hated bishops because, just kidding, I'm not serious. I am Maya Kendall, a student of one of the best classes to walk the corridors of the Bishop's High School, 6 Business. Our class was what you would define as weird. It comprised of students from not only bishops, but all across the country. This combination could have easily gone wrong, but strangely, we made it work. We had that one student who completely missed the memo that school started at 9 o'clock and not 10:30. We had that one student who was like, we had homework, and then we had a set of students who were like, we have homework. At most, we were a class of different personalities, but we always came together to help each other and make sure that we were all successful in our endeavors. One of the biggest challenges our year faced was obviously the coronavirus pandemic. When it first hit, there were mixed reactions of fear, excitement, and contempt. Contempt because COVID took away most of the activities that we planned to have. For example, our Suriname trip. Sir Smith and Miss Williams, we will always be salty for that. Our sports day, and all of the other extracurricular activities that Vibes House would have obviously won. Excitement because, yay, no school. But this emotion quickly turned to anxiety because we had realized that most of our syllabus was not completed. Thankfully, we started online classes, but the scary thing was that there was one line of communication between us and our teachers, and the one thing that was holding that line together was GPL. Fortunately, for some subjects, we were able to cover all, if not most, of our respectful syllabi. And a big thank you, a big round of applause to all the teachers that worked diligently with us to make sure that we completed our syllabi in time for CAPE. When it came time for CAPE to start, I remember us gathering in the mornings and afternoons to cram and discuss past papers, even though we were repeatedly encouraged not to. I specifically remember one student on the day of economics exam coming asking, "What is demand?" I remember most of us were so scared of our results that we collectively decided if Chanchball could be famous for lashing sixes, why can't we? Despite this toxic mindset, we all pulled through, and I'm proud of each and every one of you. Despite those bogus marks they initially gave to us, we came back and we still did it again. That alone speaks numbers of our passion and determination. I see bright futures for each and every one of you sitting there. I see future businessmen, lawyers, doctors, technicians, etc. As I say this, I'm not sure if you in the hall should be excited or scared that your future is in our hands. Anyways, until you all become big stars and meet Oprah yourselves, I want to say you get a congratulations, you get a congratulations, you get a congratulations, you get a congratulations. And I leave you with the words of a man who played a great importance in our childhood, Mr. Buzz Lightyear, to infinity and beyond.
All right, so I'll be speaking on behalf of the science class. Every student often feels that they have reached the pinnacle of their accomplishments once they have conquered the arduous battles that come with writing CSEC. However, for those of us who chose to pursue sixth form, a rude awakening awaited us. The transitional period is one that is often overlooked, and the adjustments we had to make were quite overwhelming. Even though our subject count decreased, the sheer content we were exposed to was disproportionately greater. It was clear, though it may not have been so from the very beginning, that we all had our work cut out for us. Whether we wished to cut from the lines of success or that of failure was always up to us. Armed with that agency, we all in the science class made a vow that our success shall be inevitable, and so it was. This moment is a clear testimony. The impact we've made on each other is unquestionable and most certainly everlasting. Through the hard times, the laughs were often the sweetest. For instance, that spirited debate on the pronunciation of the word uncertainty. Our fearless pursuit of and engagement in transparent discourse is something that I am proud of. There was no issue too taboo or topic too touchy, and it was always fascinating to witness these passionate clashes of ideology. These debates, of course, always originated from Sharida and Jordan, our resident masters of deliberation. In our final year, the most challenging aspects were the lab write-ups. The information required was extensive. Furthermore, all the drawings, balancing of chemical equations, and learning the biology behind basic bodily systems all seemed like a burden too great to bear. In addition to the weight of knowing and doing all that was required for our success, Added pressure often came with intrusive thoughts and unsurety. What does the future hold? What academic challenges would we attempt next? Were we ready? Through what seemed like an endless parade of worry, we must say that our CAPE experience was not all work. As mentioned prior, we were never short on good times. Kahil, one of our most diligent students, the very person who was always studying biology, was simultaneously one of our best comedians. His wild tales about his pursuits of the fruit lady and the candy man by the bus park never ceased to have us cracking up. Most of our time was spent on the corridor or in the labs engaging in conversations about CAPE. There is something about shared regret that creates bonds and consolidates friendships. And for our group on the verge of CAPE exams, trust me, the regret was plenty. There was a culture of conversation in this sixth form class. Sometimes it seemed as though that's all we did. But I assure you, it was to our benefit. Of course, one cannot attest to the experiences of many, but I can say with a degree of certainty that each one of us has impacted the other positively. Some of us have become more outspoken through class discussions, while others have become more firm and grounded in their being. There has been so much good around us in the CAPE Science class that growth and reinvention were the only options. A defining trait of this class was helpfulness. On days when labs were due, students would come in early while the sun's rays were meek, and we would work, concepts were re-explained, as we struggled to write as neatly as possible. Colleagues dashed across the classroom as we rushed to clarify and finish the work. In those moments, your pens, pencils, even your table wasn't your own. Then, we didn't see it because we were too busy running from the wrath of Miss Harris and Miss John. But looking back, the collaboration of this class to ensure everyone passed is the epitome of the word team. It really does take a village, and without question, we showed up for each other, always. Students had each other's best interests at heart, be it work-wise or emotionally. A day wouldn't pass without hearing, "You good there, how's everything?" And it is those little moments, seemingly insignificant, that we will cherish for the rest of our lives. As our high school life officially comes to an end, we appreciate one another, to whatever end, if such a thing exists. We appreciate those teachers who have led us step by step, offering words of encouragement and strength towards us continuously. They have cultivated in us the indelible spirit of perseverance, that whitwheel that ensures we never give up, no matter what. And look at us now, a manifestation of their teachings. As we sit here today, draped in red, a color of passion and courage, let us enter the next chapter with a vicarious passion for all that life may bring, and just enough courage to always believe, though hardships may test our fate, that labor omnia vincent, work conquers all. Thank you.
We now invite our head prefect for girls, Jasmine George, and the head boy, Samuel Booker, to do the vote of thanks. And after the vote of thanks, all these wonderful Bishopians from way back who walked these corridors many, many years ago that are sitting here, and those who are still walking these corridors will have an opportunity to sing the school hymn one more time. Head boy, head girl, vote of thanks, followed by the school hymn by everyone.
Esteemed principal, deputy, special invitees, teachers, and graduating students, parents, performers, greetings. On behalf of the Bishop's High School staff, students, Board of Governors, the Bishop's High School's All Students Association, the Bishop's High School's Parent-Teacher Association, we are incredibly honored to be before you on this momentous occasion to deliver a vote of thanks. Firstly, I'd like to thank Mr. Andre Romaldo for his welcome and Mrs. Providence Reed for her academic report. I would also like to thank our chairpersons for attending today's ceremony and also giving our concluding words.
We owe thanks to the Bishop's High School's band, the Bishop's High School's choir, and the WIST Ministry International. By demonstrating your great talents, you have all made a significant contribution to making this graduation ceremony an exciting and memorable one.
Without the patience and planning of our graduation committee, this entire ceremony would have been impossible. Therefore, we extend our gratitude to every individual that would have planned, decorated, and contributed to the execution of this ceremony. We would also like to thank our guest speaker, Mr. Nigel Hughes, because we believe that his motivational and wise remarks have enlightened students, propelling them to far greater achievements.
Finally, I'd like to congratulate the graduating class of 2021. You've made it to the end of your Bishop's High School voyage after late nights and early mornings, tedious assignments, SBAs, IAs, and not to mention an entire pandemic. However, we must remind you that this is not the end of your overall journey.
To our dear teachers, thank you for your contributions to their futures. You have proven to be great mentors providing care and guidance during their time in this school. Your work, time, and dedication to your craft have been much appreciated by the students.
While some of you are aware of your passions and aspirations in life, many of you are still unaware, and that's totally fine. There will be disappointments and mistakes will be made. The beauty is that disappointments may lead to clarity, and clarity leads to conviction and true individuality. Amazing things will happen if you work hard and are kind. Don't rush your objectives. You have a lot more time than you think.
So plan ahead, dream big, and don't just aim for the stars, but for the end of the ever-expanding universe. Keep in mind that you're leaving today with not just limitless potential, but also true comrades and true friends. Never forget where you came from as you walk your own paths. And above all, never forget, whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might. For there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave where thou goest. Thank you.
Thank you very much, head boy and head girl. Shall we stand as we sing the school hymn? Look down on us, so Father, who dwell in terror's light, a company of children, here gather in your sight. Our lives take thou in keeping, that we may ever be as thou dost with us happy, true, resolute, and free. In seed and time and harvest, thy power divine we hold. Send forth thy quickening spirit, and bless the seed here sown. O thou now guide our footsteps in life's dim, beauteous ways, that all our thoughts and actions may bring to thee due praise. In all our joys and sorrows, thou thine own, may we too show to others loving, tender heart, long by the ties of friendship, from school days to the end. May each to each prove ever true comrade and true friend. You may be seated. True comrade and true friend. Please be seated for the final remarks from the chairpersons.
It was our pleasure to serve as your hosts this evening. It was a beautiful ceremony. Congratulations to the graduating class.
We were indeed happy for your presence. We want to say thank you to, even though the vote of thanks was given, we want to say a special thank you to all those who remain in the hall until the end of the ceremony. Thank you very much, and congratulations to our graduating class of 2021.
Have a safe journey home.
Stay well. We love you. Bye-bye.